Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of 6 Tips at 6. My name is Daphne Bakrakis. I'm a LaPorte County Public Librarian, and I am going to be talking about 6 tips plus a bonus tip with Gale LegalForms. Gale LegalForms is a database that the library subscribes to that has hundreds of Indiana-specific legal forms and some legal information as well. So first things first, I'm going to share my screen with you guys so I can show you where you can find this resource. So if you go to laportelibrary.org, which is our website, and you go into the upper right-hand corner to the search bar and type in legal, it will give you an option for local government, taxes, and legal information. This is the easiest way to get there. There are a couple ways to get there on our site, but if you scroll all the way down under the section legal, we will have Gale LegalForms. And if you click it, it will allow us to access the website. Now, normally it would ask you for your library card number. However, I have already logged in, so you don't have to see me type that out. So my first tip is, how do you find legal forms on this resource? There's actually a couple ways you can find it. The first way is by most popular legal form topics. So if we scroll down and look at the left-hand side, we'll see all these blue boxes with a bunch of different categories. If we click them, it will take us to those legal categories and all the forms that are in that category. You can also search by alphabetical name of the legal form by clicking on these letters in the middle of the screen. The final way you can search for the form, if you know the exact form you're looking for, is with the search bar here. Now, with the search bar, you do have to spell it exactly correctly. It's not like Google where it gives you a bunch of spelling options, so just be aware of that if you do use this option. So let's say I want to find legal forms on wills. I see it's in the most popular section down here at the bottom on the left, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. This brings me to tip number 2. Sometimes there's a lot of forms that come up for a specific topic, but to make it a little bit easier for navigating, you can see that there are gray headers with subsections in them. These help you navigate a lot easier because we can see there's like personal planning documents, wills and estate planning, wills for people living together, wills for people with children, and wills for people without children, and so on. If you know what category you are in or not in, this helps a lot to narrow down, especially when you don't know exactly what you're looking for. This brings me to my tip number 3. If you don't know the form you're looking for, or you do know that it's the form you're looking for, go ahead and click the form name. This will bring you to a page with a lot more information that tells you what that form is. For example, if we scroll down a little bit, we can see that this form, the last will and testament for married person with no children, has a description, and it's a description in plain English about who uses this form and when, and what the form actually is. This is great when it's something less obvious than a will, and you aren't totally sure what the form title means. If you're looking for some more information about what the form looks like, most documents also have a preview button right next to the description button. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it will give us, if we scroll down a little bit, a preview of the entire document before we print it and download it. And okay, and this is great if you have seen the document before, but you can't quite remember the name. This is a really helpful tool for identifying the right document. Let's say this is a document I need. How do I download it? Well, right under the name, last will and testament, you can see right by download, there's some clickable links. These are file links, actually. So the Microsoft Word link lets you download a Microsoft Word version of the document that you can print out. If you don't have Microsoft Word, you can still get the document by clicking on the rich text version of the document, which will let you still view the document in any other kind of word processor that you have on your computer. One thing I'd like to point out is that right under download, there is sample, which has a bunch of similar links. Now, the difference between download and sample is download gives you a blank, unfilled version of that form. Sample gives you the form of that legal form that's filled out with fake information so that you know how to fill it out properly. And it's pretty useful, especially if you're flying solo on this and you've never done this particular type of legal form before. Tip number 4 is that if you come across a word in the title or the description of a document and you have no idea what it means, well, you're in luck, because Gale LegalForms has a legal term dictionary. If we scroll up a little bit and look at the left, there's a little menu here. And second down under Indiana Legal Forms, it says legal definitions. If we click that, it will bring us to the dictionary. Now, you can search up terms a couple different ways here. You can either click the letters for searching by alphabetical order, or you can type it here in the search bar below the letters. Now, again, if you use the search bar, you do have to spell it exactly correctly. But let's just say I don't know what a Latin term means, so I'm going to search under A for it. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and here are all the results. Okay, I see a fortiori here, and I don't know what that means, but I need to know what it means. I'm going to go ahead and click it, and it's going to give me a plain English definition of what this means, and when possible, it's going to show me or tell me when this is really used. Tip number 5 is that you can actually complete certain legal forms on this website for free. So if we go up to the upper left-hand corner and click on Gale LegalForms, that's going to bring us back to the home page. And in the middle of the home page on my screen, you can see a blue button here that says Complete Legal Forms Online. Well, I want to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and click it. I should say you can't do this with every single form on this website, but you can do it with quite a number of popular forms. Let's say I want to create my will. Oh, here we can see the different categories of forms that you can fill out. And if we scroll down a little bit, there's actually a comprehensive list of the ones that you can complete on the website. You can also just click these for whatever category you want to fill out. I want my last will and testament, so I am going to click wills. There's a couple options here, and there's a brief descriptor for each document that you can fill out. So I know I don't want like any of these, like demand to produce a will. I want the last one. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. It's going to bring me to something that looks like this. It's pretty much like filling out any other form online. It's going to guide you through entering the information and what you need to consider. And once you're done with each section, if you scroll down, you can hit next and next and next until you're done. And once you click verify and submit, it will create a PDF document of that legal document with the information that you have input. And you can go ahead and download that. One thing you do need to know, or a few things you need to know, is that if you click away before you're done, before you download the document and you exit out, it will not save your progress. So you'll have to start over again. So download that form immediately once it's done. The other thing you need to know is that if you need to give that to a court or have it notarized, this website does not do that for you. You still have to take those steps yourself. Tip number 6 is that if there is a handy dandy legal questions and answers section on this website. So if we scroll up back to that menu on the left-hand side, third from the bottom, we see legal Q&A. We're going to go ahead and click that. And it's going to bring us to the legal Q&A section. It's got a bunch of different question categories and subcategories. And let's say I have a question about abandoned property concerning a landlord or tenant. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And it's going to show me all the questions and answers it has available. So we see there's a bunch of questions here. And for each one, there is a blue View Answer button that will show you the answer to the question. So it's pretty useful. It's pretty interesting to look at. One thing you do really need to be aware of when using this is that it's not specific to Indiana. It is specific to certain states. So for this first question here, we see right here, it says the state is Kansas. And below it, the next question is specific to the state of Hawaii. So you can always see which state it's specific to and just be aware of that if you do use this resource. Okay, it's time for our bonus tip. So if we go back to the library website and our local government and taxes and legal section, right at the bottom under Gale LegalForms, there's a few resources that I want to point out to you guys. The first two are Indiana Legal Services, Inc. and the Volunteer Lawyer Network. These are great resources to turn to if you need a lawyer and you can't afford it, so just be aware of that. And then the other resource I wanted to point out to you was NOLO. NOLO is a website run by lawyers and legal professionals, and it has a lot of great information that is very useful when you're using it alongside Gale LegalForms. So, for example, they have a lot of everyday legal articles. This is their website, and if we scroll down a little bit, we see they have various things from personal injury case timeline, so you know what to expect, to filing for bankruptcy, and a whole bunch of more in-depth guides that you can actually buy if you go to Shop Products. But before you buy those expensive guides, I would actually recommend that you go to the library catalog and type in NOLO, N-O-L-O, because we have quite a few of those guides, and those are free for you to check out. So it can walk you through things like child custody, bankruptcy, workplace rights. It's a great resource to use in conjunction with everybody else or everything else on Gale LegalForms. I think that about covers our tips. I want to say that if you do need a form and you don't have a printer, the library is offering a print service. So if you call us or email us at help@laportelibrary.org and you tell us, hey, I need this document from Gale LegalForms, we can print that out for you at 15 cents a page for black and white or 25 cents per page for color, and we will mail that to your address, and that way you can get the forms you need even though the library is still closed to the public at this time. I think that about wraps up everything I have to say. So you guys can join us next week, same time, same place, for another 6 Tips at 6. Have a great night.